Here's your wrestling news for December 25th, 2021. And your headlines for today include former WWE Champion to be added to Roman Reigns vs. Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, no payoff for the Roman Reigns vs. Sami Zayn angle, Shinsuke Nakamura set to face former NXT Champion for the Intercontinental Championship at WWE Day 1, Braun Strowman confirmed to make a guest appearance at the WWE WrestleMania 37 venue, Alberto Del Rio drops threat to expose Paige, Jinder Mahal's stock on Smackdown has dropped dramatically, Vince McMahon finally wants to sell, WWE Chairman could make a huge profit, and more. We're kicking off this Christmas Day edition of Slat Rock Wrestling with news from WrestleMania 38, which is still months away, but at least one match for the show is already taking shape. For weeks, it's been reported that the planned main event will see Roman Reigns vs. Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, but who enters with the gold remains to be seen. Lesnar and Reigns will face off at Day 1 and faced off at Crown Jewel, and have faced plenty of times before Lesnar's return at SummerSlam. According to The Observer, WWE is well aware that fans have seen the two face off plenty of times before and are considering a major addition to the Mania match to shake things up. Dave Meltzer reports that one suggestion has been for Drew McIntyre to win his second Royal Rumble match, and the Universal title match at WrestleMania will instead be a triple threat with Drew, Reigns, and Lesnar. It's worth mentioning that this is just one idea being suggested within WWE at the moment, and we won't know for certain until we get closer to WrestleMania. Ever since McIntyre was drafted to Smackdown, it was expected that he'd be challenging for the Universal title eventually, and the Scottish Warrior may return to the world title picture in the very near future. We can't say for certain if McIntyre will challenge for the Universal title at WrestleMania, but we do know that a feud between him and Reigns is inevitable, and that Reigns will have to deal with Brock Lesnar first at Day 1. Reigns is unsurprisingly in high demand, but being busy with the Beast incarnate sadly means that his budding rivalry with Sami Zayn will sadly not be getting a proper payoff. When Zayn became the #1 contender for the Universal title, fans were interested in seeing how two of SmackDown's best characters were going to work with each other, but instead, his moment of glory was stolen by Brock Lesnar. The fact that Zayn had to face Reigns after an attack by the Beast could have been a huge part in the story between him and the Tribal Chief, as Zayn would no doubt claim Lesnar's attack as further proof of a conspiracy against him. Instead of a war of words between two of SmackDown's best talkers and a match between two incredible athletes, we'll now never get to see what a genuine feud between Zayn and Roman Reigns would have looked like. We get that Lesnar is the big name and that Day 1 is centered around his match with the head of the table, but Zayn deserves so much more than a 2-week Universal title program without a proper payoff. Zayn won't be challenging for the Universal title anytime soon, but he does have another title opportunity on the horizon. After winning a gauntlet match on SmackDown, Zayn became the new #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship and will face Shinsuke Nakamura at Day 1. It wasn't too long ago that Nakamura and Zayn were on the same side as part of the Artists Collective, so it'll be interesting to see who stands tall in this match between former partners on January 1st. When Braun Strowman was released this year, fans were shocked, as the former Universal Champion had been one of the company's most heavily featured stars. Not only was Strowman's last match a WWE Championship opportunity on pay-per-view, but he'd just come off a program with Shane McMahon, which had culminated with a steel cage match at WrestleMania 37. Now Strowman is returning to Raymond James Stadium, the home of WrestleMania 37, but not to wrestle, but to be a guest at the 2022 Tampa Taco and Margarita Festival. On social media, the Raymond James Stadium account has confirmed that the Titan will be doing meet and greets and teased Strowman challenging someone to a taco eating competition. Strowman is one of the biggest names to be cut this year, and despite his appearance at Ring of Honor's Final Battle, is still a free agent, and the Monster Among Men will be returning to the site of his last pay-per-view victory as a WWE superstar. In the mid-2010s, Alberto Del Rio and Paige had a very toxic relationship, which included everything from WWE suspensions to shouting and altercations at an airport. The couple are no longer together, but Del Rio still has plenty of bad blood with his ex-fiancée and has routinely brought her up on several occasions. This month, the assault and kidnapping charge against Del Rio brought on by another one of his exes was dropped, and in a discussion with his PR manager Michael Morales, the former WWE World Champion made a pretty serious accusation of his own when discussing Paige. The people who have wanted to damage me have been left behind. I don't focus anymore on that. I can't hold on to grudges. I don't have any interest in countering them, but if I wanted to in my hands, I have the power to take Paige out of her job in 2 seconds. I can bring out one of her videos of domestic violence and she would not go back to work. I don't have any interest in that. Referencing an alleged confidentiality agreement Paige apparently broke, according to Del Rio, the former WWE Champion said if Paige doesn't keep his name out of her mouth, he'll release the aforementioned video. I continue to thank God that Paige broke the confidentiality agreement we had. Today, I am the one who can expose her and show the world who she is if she messes with me. I want my life in peace. I don't want anything about me on the internet. I don't want anyone talking. Paige can stay calm and no one will see your videos kicking my face and neck. That stays forgotten if you don't talk about me. Despite her retirement and Del Rio's threats, Paige is still with WWE, a company Del Rio says there's been talks with, despite reports that no promotion is interested in him. We doubt this latest threat will make WWE want to rehire him, and we can only hope that the two keep out of each other's ways from now on. More from Smackdown now, as a huge gauntlet match took up a large chunk of last night's broadcast, and because of the sheer number of people in the match, some had to be eliminated quickly. Despite the mass releases, WWE had plenty of names to do the quick job in the match, and that included former WWE Champion Jinder Mahal. Not only is this a drastic fall for Mahal, but his world title reign was brought up right before he was eliminated, which speaks volume about his position on the roster. Even Shanky, who has a whopping 11 matches to his name in his entire wrestling career, had a better showing than the former WWE Champion, a man whose name is tied to past title holders like Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and John Cena. It's arguable that Mahal has slipped to the jobber status he had before his 2016 WWE return and world title push, and we have to wonder if WWE is looking at a new star like Veer Mahan to connect with the Indian market, given the extensive amount of airtime given to his vignettes. We'll only know for sure about Veer's future when he actually makes his debut as a singles wrestler, but one thing we know for sure is that Mahal continues to stumble down SmackDown's totem pole. And we're ending today with Vince McMahon, who leads a life unlike any other, but now you can get a taste of what it's like to be WWE's main man. This week, McMahon has put his property in Greenwich, Connecticut up for sale, and the 10-acre property comes with 6 bedrooms, 9 baths, a private lake, and is within close proximity to Manhattan, according to the listing. Before you pack your things, though, it's worth mentioning the mansion will set you back $32 million, a 170% increase in value from when McMahon bought the property in 2014 for $11.84 million. With an estimated worth of $1.9 billion, McMahon isn't exactly strapped for cash, but he'll soon be expanding his vast fortune when his private Connecticut mansion sells for the right price. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.